Old lady from New York helps a man by paying for his groceries, is dumbstruck after knowing his true identity. The classic debate that still remains unsettled is whether money can buy happiness or not. Some might say yes, a few might say no, but there's no denying that money can definitely buy you groceries. You must be wondering why we chose groceries from all the things that money can buy. It is because the story we're going to shed light on is about a famous celebrity who failed to pay for his groceries and was helped by a stranger who didn't recognize him at first, but when she ultimately did, something awe-inspiring happened. Who doesn't fancy the idea of being famous? We all have that desire of being liked or say loved, and a celebrity status entails it all. We all look up to public figures and celebrities and can't help but be overwhelmed by the life they get to live. They are always in the limelight and the fans go bonkers just to get an autograph or to click a selfie. However, no matter how famous one is, you simply can't expect the whole world to know you. How many of you are a sucker for a charming musician? It could be your favorite boy band or a girl band, an iconic rapper or a ravishing pop star. Would you recognize them if you were to bump into them while shopping groceries? You all must be wondering how these questions are important in relevance to this story. But that's exactly what happened when a woman stumbled upon a renowned country singer and failed to recognize him. Not that famous, eh? This famous country singer, who's known for his music all over the world, would find himself in an unwanted situation when he went out for grocery shopping. Yes, you read that right. No matter how famous you are, you still have to step outside and stand on the queue and buy your groceries. While he had not expected anything extraordinary from his trip to Wawa, he would soon end up experiencing a once-in-a-lifetime situation. The renowned singer had toured countless places, and he is always recognized and appreciated no matter in which part of the world he goes. Having said that, it isn't always the case, and this musician would soon realize it when he goes grocery shopping before his concert. To our surprise, this man wasn't on a tour in a foreign country where it would still be possible for a lot of people to not recognize him. Read further, and you'll be amazed when you find out who this famous person is, and I bet you would recognize him in a second. What's better than being famous? It's called being famous and filthy rich at the same time. This artist has a net worth of $75 million, and he had also won 4 Grammy Awards during his career as a musician. Quite remarkable, isn't it? However, it is impossible for him to carry all that money with him all the time, and it was one day when he had to take help from an old woman, and the reason will certainly surprise you. A musician performing at a concert is like a sky being blue in other news. The life of a musician is quite happening and demands a lot of travel. Who doesn't love to travel anyway, especially when you have a whopping $75 million in your bank account? This famous singer had his own concert scheduled on Friday night in Camden, New Jersey, and it was only 2 days ahead of his concert when he accidentally ended up in trouble. Even though he is famous, has a net worth of $75 million and can hire a person for doing such odd job, but he insists on going to the local store and pick up his own groceries just because he loves it. That's so down to earth, right? However, the singer has a strong reason to do so, as he explained. I don't like when people buy things for me because they usually get me the wrong things. The musician loves to shop, and he's as excited even if he's buying something as not luxurious as groceries. He started filling up his cart with groceries, and wouldn't you too if you were to have $75 million in your bank account? However, the man was yet to realize that he had missed something very important, without which his grocery shopping would be incomplete. Can you guess what was it? The most important thing one needs to have for shopping is the money. You got to pay the bill unless you happen to be a shoplifter. Just kidding. However, this singer, who has a net worth of $75 million, was carrying only $10 in his pocket. But hey, what's the big deal? It is not the dinosaur era, and he could easily use his credit card to pay for his groceries. Well, it was not that simple. Find out how. No matter how big one makes in life, ultimately we are all human, and we are bound to make mistakes or say silly errors like forgetting the wallet at home while going out. Those $75 million were of no use at the moment, as this singer had no access to it because he had simply forgotten his wallet at home, and all he had was $10 in his pocket, which weren't just enough. So, what did he do next? The famous singer was unaware of his situation when he walked towards the checkout point and waited in line. When it was time to pay for his shopping items, he realized that he had forgotten his wallet at home. He started searching his pockets and could only find a $10 bill, which was nothing in comparison to the amount he had to pay. The musician didn't have enough money and he now had only one option left, which was putting his groceries back. The man was feeling embarrassed because of the situation he had gotten himself into, and he started to return the groceries. Luckily, there was an old lady standing nearby who saw everything and decided to reach out. Ruth Reed, an old woman, who was standing in line for her turn, saw that a man didn't have the sufficient amount required to pay for his groceries. This woman had no idea about who this man was, but she did know what she had to do next. She decided to him the extra money from her own pocket, absolutely unaware of the man's celebrity status. You'll be surprised to know that this famous celebrity wasn't the only person Reed had helped over the past couple of weeks. The woman had made a resolution to help the customers at the Wawa store, which was why she reached out to the man who stood ahead of her in the queue. She realized that the man was only a few dollars short and she immediately offered him help, but she was yet to find out that this was no ordinary man. However, this famous celebrity didn't believe at first that the old lady was clueless about his identity. The singer was taken aback, but he was also thankful to Ruth for helping him out. Although Ruth Reed didn't take much time in figuring out who this man was, as his face seemed familiar when she took a closer look at him. It's not every day that a commoner bump into a celebrity, and Ruth had helped this famous singer pay his grocery bill. A scenario that is hard to imagine or believe. The woman initially thought that she was helping a man who can't pay his bills, but she soon realized that she had seen this face somewhere, and she was dumbstruck after realizing where she knows this man from. The woman could tell that she had seen this man somewhere after taking a closer look at him, and different thoughts started to pop up in her head. Have I seen him on TV or somewhere? Does he appear on a show? Ruth Reed was still wondering who this man was, but nothing rang the bell until the man introduced himself. Was this man really the person he claimed to be? Ruth was curious and inquisitive, and she told the man that he looks a lot like Keith Urban, and she was lost for words when he replied, "I don't look like him. I'm Keith Urban." Ruth was left stunned, and it was hard for her to believe that she had just met the country music legend Keith Urban. Not only did she meet him, but she also paid for his groceries, and the old lady was skeptical, and she did something that cracked up everyone. The old lady initially thought that this man was Keith's doppelganger and he was just messing around with her, and what she did next was absolutely unbelievable. It was out of doubt, and the old lady asked a question to the bodyguards who were standing nearby to confirm whether this man was actually who he claimed or not. The woman looked at the bodyguards expecting an answer, and what they said blew her mind. The bodyguards confirmed that the man was indeed the famous country singer Keith Urban, and the woman's reaction was priceless. There was a wide smile of disbelief spread across her face, and she was feeling stupid for not recognizing the man in the first look. "It was then I realized what an idiot I was," Reed said. The old lady had never imagined that she would meet Keith Urban someday, that too at a grocery store where she had appointed herself to reach out to those in need. Moreover, Keith turned out to be one of those people whom this lady had helped at the Wawa store over the last couple of weeks. The lady was at the peak of her excitement, and what she said next will amaze you as well. The lady had a lot of unanswered questions popping in her head for the last few minutes, and she began by asking Keith that how in seven heavens is it possible for a rich and famous singer to not have enough money for something as common as groceries. Keith didn't mind the question at all and simply told Ruth about forgetting his wallet back home. But the lady had a lot of questions to ask, and the next one was worth asking. Keith and Ruth had a decent conversation, and the two learned some interesting facts about each other. Keith was impressed after learning that he wasn't the only person Ruth had helped out at the Wawa store, and it had nothing to do with his celebrity status, as the woman was initially unaware of it. It was more of a weekly thing for Ruth, which eventually turned into a tradition. However, Ruth's next question surprised Keith and brought a wide smile on his face. It's not hidden from anyone that Keith Urban is married to the renowned Hollywood actress Nicole Kidman. As it turned out, Ruth Reed is a huge fan of Nicole, which was why she asked Keith about her. The singer giggled and replied that Nicole is home waiting for her husband to come back with a bag full of groceries. The old lady asked Keith to take his leave after hearing that Nicole was waiting for him at home. However, Keith was yet to thank the woman for helping him out with money, and he couldn't just let her leave like that. He thanked the woman for helping him and appreciated her efforts for helping those in need at the Wawa store. He was delighted after meeting Ruth, and he wanted to click a picture with her before leaving. Keith Urban is a busy man, and it is not always that he stays and click pictures with everyone who identifies him. But this was no ordinary occasion. The woman helped him in meeting the amount required to pay for the groceries, and taking a picture with Reed was the least he could do to repay the favor. We tend to share even the most ordinary experiences on social media, and what Ruth had experienced was far away from being ordinary. She took to her Facebook and posted the picture of her encounter with the famous country singer Keith Urban, and entitled it as another Ruth Reed moment. The lady is full of surprises and quite active for her age. How long would it take for a post to go viral over the internet where a commoner helped a celebrity in paying his bills and initially failed to recognize him? Not long. The post racked up thousands of likes and was reshared as much as 3,000 times over Facebook alone. Everyone was amazed after reading this incredible story, and people were appreciative of the woman's resolution to help others. Moreover, you'll be surprised to know that Ruth had been successfully carrying forward this tradition for years now. It is just not a one-time or a two-time thing for Ruth, as she had been carrying this tradition for almost 3 long years now. The fact was unveiled in a Facebook post that read, "For 3 years, I have made a resolution to once a week treat someone at Wawa. Occasionally it happens more than once a week." The selfless act of this substitute teacher deserves all the appreciation and attention, and people around her always make sure to remind her that she's doing an awesome job. We have already discussed how Ruth's story went viral on social media and attracted everyone's attention. A woman named Olivia Rose Prowse wrote in her Facebook post, "My favorite story of the day is how my 3rd grade teacher thought Keith Urban was down on his luck and couldn't pay for his Wawa snacks, so she bought them for him. What an angel." Celebrities are always in the news, whether it's for the right reason or the wrong reason, but you just can't ignore them. It didn't take long for the story to go viral and grab the attention of different news channels. The local channels approached Ruth to get the details of this amazing story, and they later showed it on TV. "We are proud of what Ruth did, and this is what she had to say about her experience." The old lady said that the best thing about meeting Keith Urban and the story going viral is that somehow inspired other people to do the same and help those in need. There were many people who followed her footsteps, but things changed drastically when a globally renowned organization initiated a campaign inspired by Ruth Reed. We are all aware of the name MasterCard. The credit card company got to hear about Ruth Reed's story, and they decided to inspire people to pay for those who are in need. What was their master plan? The company followed the footsteps of Ruth Reed, and as a tribute to her, they promised to repay people who were willing to help the ones in need by paying for their groceries. The old lady didn't let all the attention and fame get to her head, and she stated that she's not a special person, and what she had been doing for the last 3 years isn't a big deal. On the contrary, Ruth Reed believes that every individual is able to do the right thing and has the power of helping the ones in need.